You didn't break my heart. You buried the boy inside me and awakened a man you'll never recognize again. And if you're listening, you already know who you are. Part 1. The beginning, when I was blind. I loved you blindly. I gave without counting, waited without asking, trusted without question. I thought this is what love is supposed to feel like. You smiled, and I believed it meant safety. You laughed, and I believed it meant forever. But now I see. Your smile was camouflage. Your love was a performance. And I was just another audience member clapping for an illusion. And I'll be honest, I didn't just fall for you. I built a dream around you. I imagined a life, a home, a future where you were my peace. But now I know, you weren't peace. You were the storm that taught me how to rebuild. Her exit wasn't sudden. You just didn't see it. Let me tell every man something that still stings in my gut. She didn't leave suddenly. She just started staying less. Less in her words. Less in her eyes. Less in the way she touched you. She used to text you, I miss you. Now, she took hours to reply with a dry hum. You blamed yourself. Maybe you thought, I'm not enough. But the truth is darker. You were not enough. You were too real. And she needed a fantasy to survive her own brokenness. Psychologically, women detach long before they walk away physically. Emotionally, she was gone, while you were still fighting to stay. The betrayal, when you become a ghost while still alive. You ever felt invisible while still giving your all? That slow death where you're talking, but no one's listening. That's how I felt. Alive on the outside, dead on the inside. She used to ask how my day was. Now, she scrolls through her phone while I talk. You sit beside her, but feel a mile away. You touch her, and she flinches. You argue, and she walks out, not to cool off, but to text the one she's replacing you with. That's the part that makes men go numb. It's not just the leaving, it's the replacing. And it's always fast, isn't it? She goes from needing space to dating someone new, in what feels like hours. Let me say it clearly. She didn't move on fast. She just prepared while pretending. The aftermath, where men break in silence. What comes after is hell. No one talks about this part. The late nights, staring at the ceiling. The fight to sleep. The fight to not text her. The fight to stop checking if she's online. You become your own enemy. You ask yourself, what could I have done better? Why wasn't I enough? Why does she look so happy while I'm dying inside? Brother, let me stop you right here. You were never the problem. You just love someone who is still at war with herself. And you can't win someone's war by bleeding yourself dry. The revelation, you were the light. She feared it. Here's something dark but freeing. Some people don't want healing. They want comfort. They want attention. They want control. You showed up with love, depth, truth. And she was only ready for games. You thought she left because you were too much. But really, you were too deep for someone who only knew how to swim in shallow waters. And here's the kicker. She will miss you. Not now. Not today. But one day. One day, she'll lie next to someone who can't understand her soul. Someone who touches her body but can't hold her heart. And in that silence, she'll remember the man who would have walked through fire just to warm her hands. And you won't be there anymore. Let me tell you what happens after heartbreak. If you survive it. Not everyone does. Some men stay stuck in that loop. Endless overthinking. Scrolling through old photos. Reading texts she sent a year ago like scripture. Hoping for a reply that's never coming. But if you really survive it, if you sit with that pain instead of escaping it, you change. And not a small change. Not some temporary glow up. I'm talking about rebirth. The kind of shift where your own mother looks at you and says, you're not the same boy I raised. At first, it's chaos. Your mind is a war zone. You can't eat. You can't sleep. You question every memory. Was it real? Was I used? Was I blind? But one night, you'll lie on your bed, staring at the ceiling like you've done for the past 47 nights. And something cracks. Not inside you. Around you. The old version of you begins to fall apart. The one who begged. The one who overgave. The one who needed her more than he needed himself. He dies that night. And in the silence, in the dark, in the loneliness, a fire starts. You wake up different. Still broken. But burning. You don't hit snooze. You hit the floor and do push-ups till your arms shake. You walk into that gym like it's your battlefield. Each rep is a memory. Each drop of sweat is a tear you refuse to cry anymore. You start lifting, not for aesthetics, but to carry the weight of a man who's rebuilding himself from ash. And books? They're no longer optional. They become your scriptures. You read about stoicism, war, strategy, psychology, masculinity. You study the minds of great men because you've realized love can leave, love can fade, people can betray, but knowledge, discipline, legacy, that's yours forever. You stop needing validation. You stop checking if she's watching your stories. You stop comparing yourself to the guy she's with now. Because you know, you're not in competition. You're in construction. Your phone becomes quiet, but your mind, louder than ever. You no longer chase dopamine. You chase dominance over yourself. You no longer crave attention. You crave alignment with your mission. You start waking up before the sun, not because someone told you to, but because you found something worth waking up for. Yourself. You become colder, not cruel, controlled. You don't argue anymore. You don't explain yourself to people who won't understand. You don't break down when she posts a new guy. You just smile, because you've realized she upgraded her feed, but you upgraded your soul. You learn that peace is more attractive than attention. That silence is more powerful than screaming. That absence can speak louder than presence. You don't beg for closure. You become the closure. You don't run from pain anymore. You stare down and say, thank you. You made me unstoppable. And when the world looks at you, when people say, he changed, he's cold now, he's distant, they don't realize you're not cold. You're just no longer available for things that destroy you. You love like a warrior. You lost like a man. But now, you rise like a god. Not for revenge, not to prove her wrong, but to prove yourself right. She didn't break you. She revealed you. She peeled back the weakness, the naivety, the emotional dependence, and exposed the raw steel underneath. Now you know, you're not here to be chosen. You're here to choose yourself. And one day, when she sees you, not the old you, but the man you became, there will be silence. And in that silence, she'll hear everything she lost. But you won't even flinch, because you've already won. And let me leave you with this. The best revenge is no revenge. It's being so damn focused, so deeply in love with your life, that her memory becomes a footnote in the book of your eyes. The boy in you begged, but the man in you, he builds. So go rise, go become that man. Not for her, not even for them, but for you. This was never just a letter. It was a turning point, a rebirth, a declaration. I will never be the same man again. And thank God for that.